Welcome. We are going to go over the Sarga board today. I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you can utilize the board and our 2 different sizes. Okay, so this is our 30-inch travel board, 30 inches long by 12 inches wide, and then a very thin base so you don't feel it under your topper of choice. The board will bend, but it will not break. So this is a very specific material we searched far and wide for, that we could utilize the idea of tensegrity that you will learn in Sarga Bodywork, but not allow the board to break. Okay, so all you have to do is get a sticky mat. It doesn't have to be a yoga mat, but a lot of us have these around. You're going to place the board about halfway down the yoga mat or over your sticky mat, and then you're going to choose which piece of equipment works best for you. So I'm going to start with our SargaThai Mat. So this is actually a 4-inch thick mat that trifolds. It has a medium to high density foam in it. It is made to squish for your client's comfort, but also firm enough that you can balance on. I will say this can be challenging. It's kind of like a balance ball, or I think they call them bocce balls. There's a little bit more balance to utilize this mat, but it is what I use in my practice and I love it, and my clients do too. So all you're going to do is put the mat over the board, again about halfway down. You're going to get your Sarga silk of choice. This is our gold. Simply come under, grab grab the loop, pull it through, tie 2 overhand double knots, and slide the extra fabric underneath. Very important so your client does not slip or you do not slip on the silk. From there, you're going to grab it and give it a tug. Bring it about on top of the head. So if we were on a table, especially an elevated table, very important to have it on the top of the head, but because we are on the ground, not as important. So I like to give myself a little bit of room so I can be at the top and the bottom of the mat. We'll come over here, find the other loop. Again, we just eyeballed it, so I'm just going to do a very loose loop there. Test myself again. I can give it a couple of yanks, and that works for my setup. That works for me. And I'm going to tie it again, give it another pull, and I'm off. Very important that you get a body over the board before you start doing any kind of pulling. So I'm standing on the board. I can start to utilize my silk here. Okay, super simple setup. On to the next board. This is our 40-inch wide board. Really made this for those of you that are like Thai style. We love a lot of space. You can utilize this board with anything from 40 to 53 inches wide. Anything above that, we're going to lose tensegrity, and you'll learn about tensegrity in class. Basically, it is the idea of pushing with your foot and pulling with the silk that allows you to give an excellent amount of consistent pressure without working super hard. Okay, from there, I'm going to show you the table. So this table does not have any legs. I took them off, but you can keep yours on. All you need is a shiatsu-like cable that will allow the cables that connect the table, that don't allow the legs to slip out. You need to be able to take that off, and we have other videos about that in our YouTube channel. So for this, all your table needs to do is be able to lay flat. I'm going to take it and open it up over the mat. I personally like 3 yoga mats in a row, especially with the table, just because we have all these little brackets and such that sometimes can injure the floors, and we don't like that. You just place the table over the mat and the board. Board will go right under the middle, maybe a little bit towards the head, but we're thinking about where the client's heaviest part of their body is. Usually it's the pelvis, but it can go up and down a little bit depending on your client. From there, we're going to grab our Sarga silk of choice. This is the gold. You're going to do 2 overhand knots. Slide it under the table and make sure you're on top of the board before you give anything a tug. Place the silk over your head. Give it a raw estimate. Loop it through the Sarga board webbing. Again, check for safety and you're ready to go. Okay, one thing we want to make sure is the board isn't sticking out along the edges, because we have had people stub their toes on the board. If you are a very mindful walker, that shouldn't be a problem. Otherwise, just get the board that's the appropriate length and you won't have an issue there. So that's the table. It's an excellent option if you're not sure if you want to stick to the table. You might want to go to a mat later. You most likely have a table you can utilize. Later on, you can choose a mat. Okay, now we are going to go to our futon. This futon we designed to be 32 inches wide by 75 inches long. It's got little strings for ease roll up. Those are going to go to the bottom of the mat. Lay it over the top. Board is in the middle. I've already tied this side 2 times, but I'm going to make sure that I test it. Take it to the top of the head. Eyeball a measurement. 2 overhand knots through the webbing. Get your second loop there. Step on the board, tug all those little bits underneath, and we're ready to go here. Hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have any questions at all, we're always here to answer or help where we can.